Well, hello everybody, and we are live. I hope you can hear me okay. Here, this is of course the podcast recording for Living the RV Dream episode 309, which comes out tomorrow morning. And hello, Dylan Reynolds is here in the house, and the RV DJ, of course, our bartender has arrived, and we only have three viewers on YouTube, but we are simulcasting to Facebook and to X as well. So, it's a cool way to have an extra um, video version of the podcast, if you will. Although I do have a face for radio, so and the a travel dreamer is here. Hello there, Fatima, and well, but I'm gonna start recording. So, Mary Callan, we're here now too. There you go, and Mary Callan, and all right. I'm gonna push the button on my other so for the audio recording one, and of course, those of you watching live are not gonna be able to hear some of the music or some of the stuff that I'm doing here, but I'm gonna talk a little bit about the aftermath from the RV show, and then if any of you guys have any comments, we can answer them here live on the podcast. Ilvana Shala watching us on Facebook. Hello, Mr. Robert. Hello there to you too. And of course, Trailer Traveling Gord is here too. And here we go. 309 for. This is Living the RV Dream, episode 309 for Friday, January 26, 2024. Hello, happy campers. Hello, fellow Pelican heads and happy travelers around the world. Full timers, part timers, boondockers, van dwellers, weekend warriors, schoolie builders, tent campers, overlanders, whatever you do. If you have wheels, if you're a rubber tramp, welcome to the show. And talking about rubber tramps, do they still do the RTR in down in Quartzsite? Because this year actually the Q24 meetup has become like really 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 big, over 100 people in attendance. So and for those of you who are just listening on audio after the fact, well, I'm recording this before a live audience. We are simulcasting to YouTube, Facebook, and X, formerly Twitter. So and the travel dreamer here on the chat is confirming that yes, the RTR still exists. And in any case, Ken from Kentucky, we have here on Facebook, Judy Magnus Sides. Hey, Robert, good to see you again. Excited for new travel videos. And the new travel videos coming here very soon, actually. Um, well, I'm not stopping there. I still have like 5 videos in the can. Right now, I'm editing. This Sunday, you guys are gonna watch the farm science review, which is gonna be something different. So I'm kind of warning you ahead of time. It's not necessarily travel, but it's like we're gonna visit what would be the equivalent of an RV show, but it's for farming equipment. So I found it very interesting. We got to jump on tractors and combines and be able to learn how all that stuff works. They even have drones nowadays, drones for spraying crops and all that. That seems to be really cool. But before we continue with the future adventures and all that, um, I would like to kind of do a final conclusion to my experience at this year's Florida RV Super Show, and let me tell you, actually, one of the greatest things that happened was the Saturday meetup. I mean, we had a standing room there, and so many people. And if you go to the group, Traveling Robert and Friends on Facebook, several people posted pictures, especially this traveler, our friend, this traveler Eric, who happened to be he was my original first patron way back when, back in what, 2017 or something like that. So he went there and he took pictures and video, and so many of you, hearing your stories and then your support. It is so great, and I'm gonna tell you more about that also on the live stream on Friday at 6 p.m. But last week's podcast, I was talking about the trends at this RV show, and of course, very nice fifth wheels like Brinkley and Spacecraft and all that, and New Horizon, like top of the line fifth wheels, like for full timing. That was a trend. Murphy beds was a trend. Camper vans, like the Westphalia that came back to the United States for the first time this year. Um, Great trend. And um, and then another trend that I forgot is, and I forgot it again. Besides the absence of electric vehicles, or nothing like vaporware, like they call it, like that airstream that parked itself and all that. Um, there was one more trend. Oh yeah, I think this year we finally witnessed the death of the gas absorption refrigerator. Everybody is installing 12-volt refrigerators, which it's a trend that I kind of don't like, because if you want to boondock and really conserve power and use the minimum possible amount of power, I think gas absorption is the way to go. Even though they don't cool as well as a 12-volt, or as quickly. Uh, that's that's a trend that was you know that I feel almost like having a moment of silence for the gas absorption refrigerator. um, Let me hear some of your uh, comments here on the chat. Trailer Traveling says, spoiler alert, big rig Roberts. I don't know if I want to get into a big rig. I would love to have the space inside, the comfort. Because Minitini 4, let's face it, it's an adventure trailer, but it's not as comfortable as it could be, right? But there might be a change this year, but I don't think it's going to be a big rig. Travel Dreamer says, I love the farm equipment video. The vintage ones were cool too. So much tech now. I was amazed. And yeah, that's one trend that you're going to see on this Sunday's video. By the way, I want to thank our friends, the Forrests, Jim and Barb, and their daughter, their son in law, and their grandchildren, Ryder and Journey. And his cousin Liz. A lot of people, who helped me out understand, and get through on that show, which was so different. Matthew Villacourt says on Facebook, I'm in the Las Vegas area and I've been a fan for years. Do you ever do meets and greets? Yes, I do. Actually, we did two at the Florida RV Super Show. And I would like to do one in South Florida, for example, before we head out west, because I think, everything, my mom's health permitting, uh, I think we're going to head out west in early March. Um, just so we can be there for the solar eclipse. And I'm going to be working again with Sun Outdoors. As you know, I did several RV resorts last year, and they're some of the best RV resorts we've ever stayed at. So we are doing another collaboration with them, and we're probably most likely going to see the solar eclipse in near Austin, Texas. I was either Dallas. Actually have two places right now where I could, excuse me, where I could see it. Another comment here from YouTube, Sandra Winners. Hi, Traveling Robert. Is Sandra Winners from Carson City, Nevada. My birthday was Saturday, January 20th. Well, Sandra, 5 days ago. Happy birthday, dear Sandra. Happy birthday to you. And here we have Sue Lucky Dog Productions, moderator on YouTube. Dylan called Bob and told us you were live. Didn't see the notification. Well, Sue, this was very impromptu. And as you know, this is just a recording for the Living the RV Dream podcast that comes out on on Friday morning. And for those of you listening on audio, well, it's Friday morning and you're listening to it. I haven't been as consistent with the podcast, especially when I'm not traveling. It is kind of hard to to come up with content for the podcast, because my content is usually not like how to, or news or anything like that. It's I want to tell you about my travels, and this podcast is basically a companion to my regular YouTube channel. And it's another way, if you subscribe to the podcast on any app, or here on the podcast YouTube channel, just search for Living the RV Dream anywhere. It is a way for me to, for you to know more up to date where I am, because right now I'm editing videos from September, and soon October. I have three more videos or four more videos in the can, after the one that you're gonna watch this Sunday, which is the Ohio State University's Farm Science Review. There's going to be I finally got to go to the National Museum of the Air Force in Dayton, Ohio. We went to the memorial, the Wright Brothers Memorial. I keep calling it Wright Brothers. They're the Wright Brothers. And then we went a little farther north to a town called Wapakoneta, which is the birthplace of Neil Armstrong, first man on the moon. And they have a small museum there dedicated to the man. So, yeah, that is called the Armstrong Space and Air Museum. That's going to be the following episode. And then after that, of course, and many of you watching right now, on the Facebook live, on the YouTube and Facebook live stream, you were at the M23 meetup, and I'm gonna make a video about the M23 meetup. And depending on how much footage I have, I might uh, put it together with the video. After that, we went to Elkhart, Indiana. We went into the museum, the RV Hall of Fame, and yeah, that's gonna be really cool. Anyway, let me answer some of your questions here, or your comments. Read some of your comments on the chat. This one comes from Facebook. Lance Meyer. Hello, Robert. Greetings from Iowa. As a farmer, it is great to hear your interest in the agriculture industry. And yes, it's something that, as someone who's lived, born and raised in a city. I mean, it's out there, kind of how it's done. But I'm always curious, like how a combine works, how it separates the grain from the plant, and all that. And we're gonna learn that in this Sunday's video. And I can't wait to get back to Iowa. We're probably gonna go back to Iowa this summer for the Winnebago Grand National Rally. John Cabonco, you can sing Driving to the West Alive. I love your songs and singing them every road trip. Well, thank you. Driving to the West, into the sunset, driving to the West. It's, I think, according to my Spotify stats, that's one of my most streamed tunes. Speaking of tunes, the new CD just came out. It's just not a CD, it's just a digital online album. And that's available everywhere music is streamed or sold, even here on YouTube. Just search for my real name, Robert Morales, and you will find it. The album is called Alaska and Other Stories, and it includes the 8 tunes that I composed specifically for Alaska, and then 2 more tunes that I just wrote earlier. Actually, it is California Road, Another California Road Trip, and Sandstone Dream, and those 2 were never part of any album. I released them as singles, but they were never part of any album. And from Jess Bennett, well, where will you have a meet and greet in the West? My wife and I would love to meet you in Tucson, Arizona. Well, I have every intention to visit Tucson, Arizona, sometime in March, but I don't have a date yet. And I'll probably next week in the podcast. And if I do a live stream like this one, I'll have a better idea of which places we're going to visit. Kimberly Schumveld Liston, are you coming to Wisconsin this year? a good question. If we decide, I mean, and I want to do it, but I have so many plans, and the year only has so many months, and I still have to spend some time um, editing all these videos. But if all goes well, the idea is to do a loop all around the Great Lakes, and if we do well, yeah, we'll do at least eastern Wisconsin for sure. Um, so Ginny Hayes, hey Robert, Greg, get seeing you at the Florida RV show, and let me tell you, I got to meet so many of you at the Florida RV Super Show, and it was so great. Not only at the meetups, but walking around. A lot of you, I just uh, I just saw you, walking around the fairgrounds, and it was great. It's I was this year I was a little on the fence about going to the Florida RV Super Show because I also want to be in Quartzsite. The thing with Quartzsite is, it happened this week, so the timing doesn't work. Both RV shows are at the same time, but next year for sure I'm gonna figure something out, and maybe we'll drive to Quartzsite, and then this is me out of my in the pipes inside my brain thinking about that. Fly to Florida for a couple of days for the Florida RV Super Show, and then fly back to Phoenix and go back to Quartzsite. That's an idea, and that's the only way that I could efficiently see both RV shows. From Gio Elizalde. Hi, Robert, on Facebook. Hi, Robert. Long time following you since 2015. Wow, 2015. We already had Minitini, the original, but that was early days. Always jamming your music on my travels. Well, thank you. Yeah, I still had a day job in 2015. And for Karen Ellis, also on Facebook, if you ever get to Evansville, Indiana, check out LST 325 tank landing ship. I believe only one left. My dad served on LST 1 in World War II. Evansville, Indiana. We'll see because we're going to Indiana at some point, as we always do, either in summer or whenever we switch trailers, which might be somewhere in the fall. Julianne Calder, hey Robert, so fun meeting you at the RV show. It was great to meet all of you, and so much fun and so much. It's I'm overwhelmed with your kind words. And anyway, Brandon Stargell on YouTube. Robert, have you ever ridden the ferry across Lake Michigan from Milwaukee to Muskegon, Michigan? No, I wanted to do it at some point, but I've never done it. And maybe as part of this Great Lakes trip, who knows? John Cobonco asks, what is your most favorite state in the USA and the most favorite or beautiful hike? Oh man, that's a tough question because states, and I've kind of changed my mind. For many years, Arizona was my favorite state, just because it has so many different climates, and it's so diverse in that sense. You can go down to Tucson, which is a very hot place, but near Tucson at Mount Lemmon, you have the southernmost skiing resort in the United States, and then you go up to the White Mountains, and it's very cold in winter, and then you have the Grand Canyon, and then you have the San Francisco peaks up there too, near Flagstaff, and it's Elizabeth Diaz de Villegas, would you ever switch to drivable like New State Nomads? Well, I don't know what I'm going to do yet. And that's Elizabeth on Facebook. But this is the thing. If you recall my original song, it's called Driving in My RV, not Towing My RV, right? And I wrote it after I rented a Class C, out west. So at some point, at some point I see a small class C in my future, but we'll see. We'll see when and how that happens. So we'll see. We'll see. Even like early nomadic fanatic, that's what he did, right? He had that small Tioga. It was all beat up, but it was small enough that he didn't need a tow vehicle, and that's kind of the idea. And Buddy Mason Smith, so awesome to meet you at the Winnebago tent in Tampa. I was the one wearing the highlight shirt. Yeah, I remember you. Come to see us on Amelia Island, and I do want to do a Florida loop, kind of, probably in 2 or 3 weeks. And Amelia Island is one of those places that I've been to, but ever so briefly, and Ely has never been. And so we might do a meetup at the Salty Flamingo, the Salty Pelican. I think that's what it's called, the Salty Pelican. So, and Richard Detcher the third on Facebook. Not sure if this was asked about, but where are you headed in 2024? And 2024 is a moving target, and where am I not headed? It might be more of a breaking news, because I had many possibilities. I do want to go out west for the solar eclipse. That's the one thing that is unmovable, because that happens on April 8th at around 1 p.m. ish in Texas, and that's where we have to do it. Now the winter Alaska trip, that one, it doesn't look like it might happen. I mean, I may still do it. We've done crazier things last minute. um and then the one that I really want to do is late spring in Spain. I wanna go to Spain, rent an RV, and kind of drive around. The Iberic Peninsula. That's how you say it in Iberia. In any case, I would love to do that. And then the Great Lakes Loop, and uh, Robert Loring, if going to Texas for the eclipse might be a good idea to check out the Big Bend area. Definitely, because I I've been meaning to go to Big Bend since my first trip to the West, and I always get sidetracked. I mean, it is out of the way, right? And yeah, I want to do everything, do the hikes, there's a little boat that goes to Mexico, right? And they put you on a donkey, and you go to a town, and it's a thing. I would love to do that too. Darlene Barcelau on Facebook. When is your next video in Florida? Especially love those videos. Well, yeah, I plan to do that Florida loop maybe in 2 or 3 weeks. Nothing too crazy, nothing too long. Go up to Pelicamp, and maybe go to some of the springs up in North Florida, maybe Amelia Island, maybe a little bit of the Panhandle. I don't know exactly. But the next video, actually, it's going to be on a boat in Biscayne Bay, and that's going to be like in 3 weeks. I got on a boat with our friend Eddie, and actually we're getting on the same boat this Sunday, and I'm gonna do another. I might put those together. We got on the boat last November, and now we're getting again. But we're gonna basically visit the same area, kind of like the last continuation, the last. And show us Vizcaya, says Karen Alas, and we did see Vizcaya on that boat trip on the outside. I've been to Vizcaya on the inside, but it's been like 30 years. So yeah, Vizcaya, by the way, for those of you who don't know, it's this like Renaissance palace. Like, it's a mansion, but it's built like a Renaissance palace in Miami. It's bayfront on Biscayne Bay, and I don't recall exactly the story of the owner, but it's a great place. A lot of people go there to take like their wedding pictures and whatnot, and we're gonna see it from the bay on that video that I went on the boat. Remin Pasión from the Philippines here on YouTube. Good evening, Robert. Good to see you back at the Flagami studio. Yeah, thank you. It's good to be home. It's good to have ultra fast internet, and it's certainly great for production here. And Jonko Bonko, yes, my best question for me: what is a good price for Minitini to buy? I would like to buy something like this for our road trips. It depends which model you get. I believe right now they're like in the 50s, like the new ones. If you want to get like a 1720, 2108. Um, but I'm not sure. That's a moving target. It varies with supply and demand and the dealers. They were having some great prices at the Florida RV Super Show, but then again, some of the micro minis, especially if you get the Flex, is a premium product. You have lithium batteries and all that. So anyway, if coming to us from X, actually, first coming from comment from X. Hey Robert, did I ever thank you for getting me through lockdown? Well, that was kind of the theme at the meetup at the Florida RV Super Show. So many of you told me how much my videos had helped you through the lockdowns, especially at the beginning of the pandemic. And uh, and I was lucky that I was so behind on my videos that I had months of content to edit and upload. So we never missed a bit, right? We had a new video to upload every Sunday. um, I wanted to read you guys a couple of emails here that I have received lately, and this one is one that it really touched my heart. It's so cool to hear some of your stories, right? And this one is from someone called Venu, and he says, "My 8-year-old son Ashwin has been watching your videos since he was 7. When I say watching your videos, I mean all of them. He's gone back to the very beginning, to your road nomad days, and now he's all caught up. He's even seen your New Year's Eve special." Hmm. And we've played Driving to the East while we were crossing the Mississippi at Natchez. Natchez, we live in Houston. I have a family in Louisiana. Next highlight will be crossing the Suwannee River while playing the song. All of this is to say thank you for making such a big and positive impact on my kid. And it's messages like this. When I read something like this, that it's like we're doing something important, we're doing something good, and it's the fuel that makes me keep on going. And I think I have spoken already a lot, so I'm gonna start wrapping this one up, especially for the podcast recording. I might chat with you guys a little more on the live stream, but the podcast recording, um, we're gonna start wrapping that one up. By the way, Tony Rooks, greetings from frosty southern Quebec, from Tony and Lisanne. And yeah, cold and frosty. Actually, Miami, it's rather warm, so I'm kind of in the mood to head north a little bit. But in any case, for those of you listening on audio, I'm gonna start wrapping this one up. It's been great chatting with the live audience, and as I stay here in Miami, doing not a whole lot except for editing videos, which is something that I have to catch up on. So until next week, thank you so much for listening. And see you on the road, because we are living the RV dream and loving the RV lifestyle, because I'm free in my RV. And let me save this real quick because I forgot to save. And 309. Living the RV dream. 309. Save. And to those of you on the live streams here, Travel Dreamer 46, that's so very touching, Robert. It's special to affect the heart of a child. He'll be a future traveler. One can only hope. We have to instill that yearning for travel while they're young. And Lucky Duck Productions. See you tomorrow, Robert and everyone. See you tomorrow. And tomorrow, of course, live stream at 6 p.m. Eastern. And eh, I'm gonna do a couple more questions here. Glee Red at Turner Scott, has your wife always traveled with you from the beginning? This one coming from Facebook. She always did. That there was a period, while I decided to start doing YouTube full time. like several trips in 17, 18, and 19 that she didn't travel full time with me. She would fly to different places and we would spend some time together at the nicer spots. But then after the pandemic, after 21, really, that's when she started working full time, remotely, so she can join me on the trips the whole time. So that's uh, Jose Miguel from X. Good job, Mr. Robert. Kind of cool on X. Yeah, it's I have this program. It's called StreamYard, and I could really simulcast to many other places. But I think and on a day like today, since the YouTube channel where I'm broadcasting this is not my main YouTube channel. It's actually the Living the RV Dream channel. We don't have as many people from YouTube. In fact, there's only 15 people watching right now on YouTube. Um, but and I cannot see Facebook and the rest, but I am assuming it's a lot more. Um, so that's it, everybody. Thank you so much. I even forgot to put the sign, the banner today. Living the RV dream. So let's do it real quick here because I haven't done this in a few episodes. So here's really not the year in review. It's just living the RV dream, episode 309. I like to play with this thing while I'm live, because I seldom get to do it. So where's my comments here? Here we go. But it is the 15 most important people. Yes, trailer traveling, absolutely. 43 on Facebook. Well, there you go. This is a much more intimate chat than the ones we have on Friday. Have you ever been to República Dominicana? Not quite yet, nope. But I would love to. I've always wanted to go to Punta Cana. One of those vacations of do nothing vacations and just sip rum Barceló while looking at the ocean, and that's it. Um, Anywho, everybody, and Christopher Olson is here now. Hello, Christopher, and Stepas Grauzinis on X. Thanks, Robert. We'll see you on the road. Yeah, everybody. Thank you, everybody, for joining me on the podcast recording, and let's do this again next Thursday, more or less the same time. We'll see. So. Stacy Hazelwood, hello there. Usually listen to the podcast later, but I have caught the end of the live here for the first time. Well, thank you for being here, and see you tomorrow, everybody. Tomorrow 6 p.m. Eastern, and then this Sunday I don't think I'm gonna do a premiere. It's just gonna be regular video release at 7 a.m. Eastern, so probably no premiere. See you next time. See you on the road. So I'm riding in my RV.